Welcome. This is my first ever video, and I wanted to show you a very small Costco haul that I did a couple days ago. We're gonna start with, well, I'm a little older, so of course I need my skin to be helped, so I got the Olay Regenerist. That was $39.99, which was absolutely ridiculously expensive, but there's two of them. Organic dried bananas, and I don't have teeth, so it's hard for me to sometimes find things that I really love that I can eat, and these are really super soft, so I'm not going to have any problems eating those. I haven't tried them before, but I love Costco foods, so we'll see how that works out. I got some strawberries, again dried, and they're nice and soft, easy to eat. And dried mangoes. Now, with the dried mangoes, they're more like a leather, but don't worry, I'll be able to eat those too, because I can eat steak, no problem. And I haven't had the banana quick bread before by Krusteaz, and I don't typically like Krusteaz, but I was told that this is a really good food that they produce, so I'm gonna go ahead and try that out. And of course, my second favorite fruit, peaches, come in 4 jars, which is really nice, and Clorox, and the Lysol laundry sanitizer. Now, I don't typically buy items like that, but with coronavirus and the numbers ticking up yet again, and it being a lot more spreadable this time around, I'm decided that I better check it out and hopefully not spread it. Reynolds Wrap, I got 2 of them in one package, so 300 square feet, and please don't ask me what the prices are, I forgot. And one of the preppers in the community suggested getting paper plates, so I don't really have that many here in the house because we don't use them, but if we have to rely on rainwater, we do get a lot of rainwater, but I don't have a catch system set up. So paper plates is a good thing while I set up my rain catch. I have a baby grandbaby that's nearby, so I got him some fruit and vegetable pouches. And of course, Lysol disinfectant spray. I love Costco because they come in multi-packs. I always buy the flushable wipes just because I like to be a little extra cleaner, but please understand that these wipes are not flushable. They do not disintegrate, so they clog up the sewer system. So please don't ever flush anything other than toilet paper down the toilet. And I have never tried the Kirkland kitchen garbage bags before, so we're gonna check that out. And of course, I got another package of toilet paper. And again, I really don't know what the prices are other than for my Olay, because that was just a ridiculous price. It's their normal price, but it was a little ridiculous. So at the end of the day, like I said, this is a very, very, very small Costco haul. I did another one a few days ago. It was a little over 300, and I picked up a whole bunch of stuff. As you could see, most of that was not food. I have been a prepper my entire life, and I never thought of myself as a prepper, but I had a lot of kids, and I was on food stamps in the beginning of having all of my kids. And, you know, you get your food stamps once a month. I just went and bought everything that we needed for the whole month so that I wouldn't have to keep going back to the store, because that was a lot of food. And I just continued doing that every month, just, you know, even after we were no longer eligible for food stamps because my income increased. I still went to the store and bought everything that we needed, except for the vegetables and fruits and milk. Got everything, you know, the paycheck that didn't pay rent went all to food. And, you know, so it's been that way. And then once it didn't cost anything to have, like, Walmart.com mail me everything, that was like toilet paper, paper towels, laundry soap. I started ordering it for the whole year and having it delivered, and I was receiving deliveries every 3 months for various different things, but it was everything that I was receiving for the whole year. And it was really nice to not have to go to the store. So nice. And then, you know, this year, my March delivery was delayed. And I realized it was because of the pandemic. The shelves were pretty much empty and they weren't fulfilling orders. And when I finally did get my order, it was, or I guess it was April, May, June. Yeah, it was my April order. Excuse me, I don't get standard orders in March. It's April. And I didn't get everything in my order. And then in July, I got a notice saying that my auto shipment had been canceled. And my July auto shipment was all my paper products. And so I went into a little bit of a panic. And then I went out into my garage and I realized that I wasn't going to have to worry about toilet paper for a good long time, or any other paper products, because I was still fully stocked. Now, understand that I've been having these auto orders delivered, you know, every 3 months. And, you know, my kids have been moving out over the past few years. And I kept getting my full orders. Well, then in July of 18, I realized that I was going to get way too much toilet paper and other paper products. So I literally stopped the order, reduced it by half, and then let it go. And that's half order is the one that got canceled July of this year because of coronavirus. So when the pandemic hit and everybody was at the stores buying shit, I realized that I didn't need to. And looking in my garage and all my different hidey holes, I still have toilet paper left over from my shipment from 2018. And this is January of 2021. I cannot express to you how good that feels to still have paper products and the things that I needed after the pandemic has been in full effect for almost a year. Well, the pandemic really brought some things to light, that even though I have been prepping pretty much my entire adult life, I hadn't really been prepping the right way. And, you know, I was listening to Alaska Granny, and she made it a point to say, store the foods that you will eat. It doesn't do any good to store foods you're not going to eat, because they're just going to go to waste if you don't have to use your stores. So I went through my pantry, completely emptied my pantry, and realized that most of the food that was in my pantry was food that my children would eat, but not myself. So I donated most of the food because it was really close to its expiration date. Now, and use by date, but just because it is past its use by date or expiration date doesn't necessarily mean that it has soured or has gone bad. A lot of times the use by date and the expiration date is for freshness. So I tend to be a little more use by date for canned goods. I tend to use them pretty quickly and try not to let them get past their use by date. The expiration date, on the other hand, not a big deal, because those items are going to be good for a good long time canned. Now, I found that pop-top lids, they don't store long-term very well. I had a few items that, like ravioli, that the seal had broken and the food had gone bad, and I had to just throw those away. So, you know, I spent a little bit of time during this pandemic refilling my pantry with the foods that I personally will eat. And it took a couple of months, but I was able to put back about 3 years worth of food. Considering the fact that I don't eat much, it might be 5 years. But I digress. If I have family that joins me, it'll be about 5 months of food. So I continue to stock, and I realized that when I was restocking my paper products and restocking, you know, cleaning supplies throughout the pandemic when they've become available, I realized that I was not set up for actual prepping. And it occurred to me that I needed to make a lot of changes, and that I had really messed up when it came to planning for my prepping. My house was not ready. My house was so cluttered and so insanely crazy with everything just everywhere that I have been spring cleaning for the last 6 months, and I am nowhere near done. This summer I started with my garage, hiring a contractor to put in shelving along all the walls in my garage. I got rid of a bunch of garbage. I donated a bunch of clutter, and multiple truckloads later, my garage is still full. And those shelving units that I hired a contractor to build, he decided that the project was too big 6 weeks after I hired him. And that put me in a real pinch, because I hired him really late in the season to begin with. And then it took me a couple of weeks to find a contractor to build the shelves. And then he messed up. He didn't do what I wanted, and he had to correct it. And, you know, it ended up being, you know, getting into the cold weather before my garage shelves were done. And I don't have heat in my garage, and my bones hurt when I'm too cold. So my garage sits and is waiting until spring for the warm weather for me to get out there and work again. It's been a crazy wild ride without garage, and not in happy feel good ways, let me tell you. So I moved to my indoor cleaning, and like I said, I got my pantry reorganized and restocked, and I have been cleaning corners and cleaning rooms. And this coming Friday, new cabinetry is going into my laundry room, so I actually have room to, and a place to actually put my laundry detergent and my dryer sheets and any other laundry products. And of course, you know, the items that are over on the counter over there that I showed you was my Costco haul. But to be honest with you, I don't think that the cabinet is going to be big enough to hold everything. And once that cabinet's in and I fill it up, I'll make a video of that and show y'all. You know, one of the things that I did several years ago was I invested in 4 Patriots, and I pretty much bought all their gear, and because it's all solar powered, and I bought several years of their food, the long-term storage. It's good for 25 years. And I'm so glad that I did, because that gave me peace of mind, knowing that I had 5 years of long-term storage, food, and if the power went out permanently, that I had a way of still making food and storing water. And I replaced all my camp gear in the last few years. So in the wintertime, if we don't have power, we can set up tents. And with power generators, the solar power generators, we can plug in the heaters in the tent and have warmth, even in the dead of winter. Now, mind you, I live in the Northwest, and we have pretty mild temperate winters. We do get below 30 occasionally, maybe a few days a week at the most. We do have a few weeks of freezing weather in January, February on occasion, but most of the time we're right around 35 to 45 all winter long. A few days of snow here and there, and every 5 years we get a really, really good snow. And that typically is 4 to 6 inches. Although a few years ago we did get hit by 17 inches, which ended up being 8 inches, or maybe it was 13 inches and ended up being 8 inches when all was said and done, and it compacted down. It was crazy. We got so much snow, and I was so sick. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't even know it was snowing until I walked outside and I was being pelted by snow, and I opened my eyes and the delirium kind of cleared a little bit, and there was a lot of snow. I went back in, laid down on the couch, and continued being sick for a few days after that. So anyway, I just am really nervous. Like I said, this is my very first video, and you know, my prepping experience has been odd and not in any kind of linear direction. But now that I have gotten into the prepping community with Prepper Nation with John and Alaskan, oh my goodness, Alaska Granny, and you know, there are so many great ones, and now my brain is just drawing a blank. Alaska Prepper, and there are so many more great ones out there, but those are my favorite 3. And oh, I can't forget the Urban Prepper. I live in the city, so of course, you know, Urban Prepper and City Prepper are my go-to guys for when STHF happens. And I live in, you know, the outskirts of town, and, you know, I just needed to educate myself about, you know, what to do. And they are a great resource for everyday prepping and for when STHF happens in living in the city. Yeah. So you're kind of stuck with this. I don't have any editing tools, and I don't really have anyone to render for me, and I don't really know what that means. So I thank you for watching and listening, and have a great day. I will see if I make another video. Take care.